I am Pam Pulowski, and I work for Homewell Care Services. We're a private duty care service. And I'm here quite a bit, and I do run the support group here. I run the support group on Wednesdays at 10 o'clock. So to me, the support group is really pretty important, okay? I know a lot of you because I've been coming in here for years, and so to me, you're part of my extended family, okay? So what exactly is a support group? You know, it's a gathering of people that are facing common issues and having trouble solving them, coping with them, and trying to navigate the next steps, okay? And the support group offers support, encouragement, education. I know on our support group, the Parkinson support group, we always have kind of like a show and tell as well. And there was some pretty funny show and tells on our support group, okay? And it just kind of lightens the load. When you're going through a challenging time or a traumatic time, and I really feel that going through Parkinson's, there are ups and downs, and there are traumatic times in your life that you're going to have to cope with that. And I know Veronica is on our support group a lot, but there are times that she can't manage that. She'll listen, but she has to do her thing, supporting her spouse. So I think it's really hard for people. She listens in, and she'll jump in every once in a while with a question. It's not something that you have to stay at. So one of the things that it does is, you know, a lot of times families just don't understand. They don't get what Parkinson's disease is because they've never had to deal with it for longer than a few hours. They come by and they'll visit dad or they'll visit mom, and they see you at your best and where you are struggling to make sure that they understand that you're okay. So some of the problems that you have are never addressed with families. Or they'll say, oh, I just saw Dad the other day. He's great. Dad's probably not so great, okay? Support groups develop to join people together who are dealing with similar, difficult circumstances. So if you're having a problem getting your husband in and out of bed, okay, that's what we talk about. I think that everybody has to deal with the anxiety, all of the issues that envelop being a supportive spouse. And are you taking enough time for yourself? How many spouses do we have here that are caregivers? Just you, Veronica? I know. I always say Veronica. Everybody does. Okay. A support group offers a safe place for you to be able to say whatever you need to say. Okay, and one of the issues that we have at our support group is what's said there stays there. And that is one of my rules. We can say whatever we want and discuss those issues, whether they are good, bad, or indifferent. However, it stays in that group. I don't ever want to hear anybody saying at the deli department at Publix, oh, did you hear about so-and-so? Okay, that doesn't happen, okay? We're going to talk about some of the myths and misperceptions about support groups. Have you heard this one? There aren't any support groups in my area. Okay. There might not be. It might be too far for you to drive. However, we have thousands of support groups nationally and globally that you can get on board virtually. You do not have to leave your home, or like we do it here at Parkinson's Place, you can come here while your loved one is doing their exercise and go to the resource room and still be part of the support group. Okay? So that's myth number 1, done. Okay? Myth number 2, support groups don't have any answers. What do you say about that? Fact. While it's true that there is no magic bullet, I can't say this is going to be the next best thing for you as a person. You will get some answers, and you might not like them. One of the things that I have said to my folks in my support group, I will always be honest with you and tell you exactly the truth as I know it. And if I don't know the answer, I will find out for you. Myth number 3, I will be required to share my story. Yeah. Fact. In most groups, you can choose to speak or not to speak, depending on if you feel comfortable. A lot of people don't like to feel comfortable the first time they go into a support group, and that's understandable. You have to get to know people. You have to figure out if you belong in this group or not, if it's right for you, okay? So you don't have to say anything. Myth number 4, a well-run support, other participants may attack or criticize you. Do you really think that would happen? No. A well-run support group sets boundaries and requires participants to show empathy and respect for everyone at all times. Because everybody's on a different page. You might be in the beginning stages of Parkinson's, whereas the person sitting next to you has been dealing with it for 15 years. So they've been there, done it, and they also have the t-shirt, okay? Myth number 5. I'll feel even more depressed after attending a support group. I've heard that more than once. The other thing that I hear is, oh, I don't want to hear other people's problems. I don't want to hear about anybody else bitching. Okay? That's an honest expression, okay? The simple act of sharing your problems can be extremely cathartic. You know, it helped me to share my issues about my husband who was dying, so that most people feel uplifted after they go to a support group. And the other thing is, when you hear everybody else's issues that they're dealing with, yours kind of look kind of small compared to that. So, you know, I think, and the other thing that's really, really important is finding the support group that fits your needs, okay? There's hundreds of support groups in Sarasota County, hundreds. Through the Alzheimer's Association, through Parkinson's Place, privately in a lot of ALFs, they have them. But are they the right one for you? Okay, there's things that are called the mutual support group. And those are the ones that are peer-led. You know, people that have been in the same situation, like cancer support groups, sometimes Alzheimer's groups. You know, the Alzheimer's Association trains volunteers that have been through this journey, and they have people that lead their groups. Participants in a mutual support group can be dealing with a certain condition or a certain circumstance, and that hopefully gets addressed there. Things like a medical issue, abuse, grief, a mood disorder. You know, there's a lot of mental health issues, and some of us have one of those or all of them. Right. So group members share what's working for them and what's not. You know, I've been doing this for 35 years. So a lot of times when I give people advice, they say, that's not going to work for me. He won't like that. And I said, well, how do you know that? How do you know that if you're not going to try it? I think it's important for us to be able to inspire other people. And when you're in a support group, people tend to admire and respect you for how you're dealing with your issues. Might be hard sometimes. You put on the good face, but don't we all? Don't we all? How many times when somebody says, how you feeling, you say good, without even thinking how you're feeling? Oh yeah, I'm good. Yeah, when you're barely able to walk to the door, okay? Okay, so therapy groups, there's therapy groups, you know, unlike a mutual support group, like, you know, and 12-step programs, you know, from AA, those are a little different. Mental health providers lead therapy groups. A professional therapist usually leads those groups. Therapy groups are available all over this city. And for people that are struggling with their loved one that is ill, I would highly recommend you seeing somebody for support. No matter what it is, whether it's a physical issue, mental health issue, sexual issue, call me, I'll put you in touch with the right person. What about online groups? Technically, we have a virtual group. We have our support group, online therapy groups. There's all different kinds. With an online meeting, there's always the risk of encountering a technical problem, and we've all had those at one time or another. Either you can't get the mute to shut off, or the parrot in the background is screeching their head off, and you know, we've had a lot, right? Okay, so some of the benefits of a support group. A support group is really a safe place where you can talk about your emotions, you can talk about your circumstances with other people who know exactly how you feel. I will never forget the day the woman said to me, "Is it wrong for me to wish that my husband is going to die?" That's a pretty heavy question. She was taking care of her husband for 18 years. 18 years. And she had every piece of equipment that you could imagine in her house, everything from a Hoyer lift to a special lift that goes in her van so she could transport him. She was tired. She was overwhelmed. She was anxious about her future and and she had her own medical issues. She had every right to ask that question. So what she got from our group was support, understanding, and some people cried right along with her. They knew exactly how she felt because on many days they felt the same way. What's going to happen to me if I get sick? Who's going to care for him and who's going to care for me? All of those questions that people have, you need to be able to respond to them in a way that they feel is supported and they are loved. So when you're in a group setting like that, everybody comes up with something special to say. And I think that's really important. It will also teach you how to have different coping strategies. You know, sometimes you feel like it's the end of the world. You just can't do one more thing. You're missing your doctor's appointments because you're taking your loved one. You feel like, I just can't go on. That's why a support group is so important. You grow through the shared experiences of everybody else in your group. Everybody has the ability to share what's happening, no matter what level they are. Some of our people in our support group are in memory care units. They no longer have the ability to come to Parkinson's Place, but their disease process, they still have questions. What do I do now? When is the time for palliative care? When should I do this? These are questions that they do not want to discuss with their family because their family doesn't understand. So I think it is so vital that people continue to get on the support groups, whether it's here at the Resource Center, whether it's virtually, and whether you come to a group. I think it's really important. I think it's also important that you focus on self-care. You have to take care of yourself. Maintain a source of hope. You have to. You have to. I think we all have issues, and one of the issues that I have that I tell my groups right in the beginning is I am a mandatory reporter. By law, if someone is being abused or financially at risk because of a caregiver, I have to report that to the state. That's the only time I break my secrecy with my people in my groups. But because I am a mandatory reporter, I have to do that. So if I feel that there is abuse, then I have to call the state. Okay, there are plenty of different people. Hi, folks. Oh, don't be ridiculous. That's all right. You can come anytime. Some things that you have to look for, you know, the facilitator lacks the skills and training. You know, a lot of the people that are peer groups, they just don't have the medical background or the understanding for the aspect of the medical piece. They can't be given information about that. So they're a little limited. The other thing that gets to be problematic is if the group is too large. If the group is too large, you really can't allow people to have a turn at their issues. So, you know, I try to keep the group at, you know, between 10 and 15. On the virtual support groups, that can go up to 22, 23, but I try to give every new person the opportunity to speak. I also try and give everyone on board an opportunity to speak. And the first thing that I usually say is anybody in crisis. Crisis people get more time than other people. If you're in the middle of a nightmare situation, you get to take an extra 5 minutes and give us the rundown. And then you have 25, 20 other people telling you what happened to them in the same situation, giving you those kind of tips and strategies, okay? The confidentiality rule is enforced and it is consistent all the time. And the primary focus is not to promote a product or a service, although on our group, we do bring in different product lines that people will be able to utilize at home. We don't give we'll put the name of it in the chat, but it's not for us to sponsor or anything like that. Some people don't even know I work for a home health agency, and that's okay. They don't have to know that I work. I'm not there to drum up business. I am there to give them tips and strategies about how they can perform. So, we never end the group on a bleak note. That's one of the things we don't do. We want everybody to go home with some sort of tidbit that they can put into effect and maybe make a real difference for them. So I want you to get the most out of your support group. You might have to kiss a few frogs before you get the prince, okay? You might have to go to different groups. I remember I joined a group when my husband my first husband had alcoholism. I joined an AA group. And in that AA group, I could not relate to any of those people. I wasn't in a financial distress by any stretch of the imagination. I could pay my Granite State electric bill. I could buy groceries. The people that were in that group were financially restricted. They had no money. They really had so you need to look for a group that is more on your level, whether it's educationally speaking, or if you have a level of comfort with the people there, somebody else might have invited you to a group. Those are the things. You have nothing to lose to try a group. So I want you to get the most out of a support group. I want you to, my folks wouldn't miss a Wednesday on our group if their lives depended on it. I adjust my vacation schedule so I won't have to miss my groups either. So I'm grateful. If anybody has any questions or anything, I'll be glad to answer them, but I've enjoyed you and thank you so much. Yes, young man. That's you.
What are the groups that you do?
The groups that I do is Alzheimer's, Lewy body, Parkinson's. Parkinson's group is here through Parkinson's Place. Alzheimer's are kind of all over the place.
He wants to know if it's for care partners or for those kinds of like.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. You can join as long as you have good cognition and you can understand and keep up with what we're talking about. That's great.
There's a men's group.
Yes, there is a men's group here.
You're not involved in that?
No, I'm not. I wish I was. I like the odds with that. There's always new people there? Yes, introduce yourselves. And the hour's up. I make it, I do it a little differently. the first thing I say is, do we have anybody new, whether it's in the resource room or on our virtual? And I let them speak first, and then I let everybody else speak for no more than 2 minutes, unless they're in a crisis. If they're in a crisis, then I say, okay, you can have a few extra minutes.
Of course, I think the Parkinson's speak.
Very slowly, very softly, yes. But that's okay. We give them time. If you have a question, the only Wednesday I am not here is the first Wednesday of the month. I have a conflicting group that I attend and that I run. Every other Monday? Yes.
One thing I also found, I'm a retired geriatrician and internist.
Oh,
Sometimes things come up.
yes.
I don't know what this is. I think it's
Yes. You're a wonderful resource.
like the leader of the group seems to feel threatened.
Threatened, yeah. It's kind of a challenge. Oh, well, maybe you should speak with him privately and say, I do have a lot to offer, even though I have this disease. I'm still pretty sharp. Yeah. You're really a good guy to have on any group. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And you're welcome on our group anytime. Anybody else? Good. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. You are so welcome.